Now, Tom O'Donnell was born in this house here, wasn't he?
That's right, the 13th of December 1990.
Yeah. And he went to school in the old school in Cooneal.
That's right.
Twin brother of yours, Michael.
That's right.
Yeah. The teacher that time was Pat Timlin, wasn't it?
Pat Timlin.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Innes.
Mrs. Innes, yeah. And he worked around then for a while, I suppose. He was there until 1936.
That's right.
35, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. Now his father and your father, I think they were stewards here at the Gal House, weren't they?
That's right.
Yeah, you remember them talking about him. So you were here yourself too, weren't you, at the time?
Right.
And he worked a few years then for Canon Heaven over there at the
That's right.
At the parochial house, tipping around. And then when he was 18 years, he joined the Royal Navy.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, do you remember what exactly, was it Plymouth or somewhere in the south?
Devonport was the most of it he was based.
Was it? Yeah. Now, Plymouth, I think he joined, wasn't it? Around 1937, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. And he was on a minesweeper first, was it?
Minesweeper,
yeah.
Do
You hear him talking about it or relating any stories or events?
Well, he was never one to talk much about it because it was a tough, hard life, and especially when the war was on.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to say much about it.
No, well, none of them ever did, I think. Sure, they didn't.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, none of them ever did. And after that, then he got on a submarine.
That's right.
That's right.
That was the Storm, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the submarine there he worked on, wasn't it?
Yeah, Storm.
Yeah. And his name is on the back there somewhere.
Yeah, you'll see it here. T. O'Donnell, leading stoker, mentioned in dispatches.
Yeah. T. O'Donnell.
Yeah.
That's right. He served on that ship, I think, from 1943 until
right.
about 1945. Yeah. Until the end of the war anyway, didn't
Yeah.
he? And I see his first voyage there took him away up around Norway and up to the North Pole.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Up to Norway up there, yeah.
Hammerfest. And he was on patrol duty there, and after that then he came down to India, Ceylon.
India, Ceylon,
Yeah. And they were involved in a few incidents, weren't they?
There
Yeah.
were.
There's a few pictures there in that book too of them, isn't there?
Yeah, just...
Yeah. That's the Storm itself, isn't it? Two
No,
pictures of it. No.
That's Seawolf. I'll show one in the River Mersey, August 1943.
That's right. That's what was built.
It was built in Merseyside, and
Yeah.
the first time she was floating on water was the 10th of August 1943.
Yeah. And there, on the next picture we see the...
Going down and shutting the upper hatch.
Yeah.
That's just ship HMS 4.
Into the tubes.
This is loading a torpedo into the tubes, like.
That's another picture of it there in
Yes,
front of it.
Fleet Air Arm photograph of Storm approaching. What?
There's Thomas another photograph of it too, isn't it?
Enlargement of part of the photograph above, showing Storm's bridge.
Right.
With left to right, the bell stand platform for the Orkillan gun, the radar area lowered, the periscope standards were perched up, lookout, the upper hatch of the gun tower and the 3-inch gun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the Storm too, isn't it?
That's the Storm
Another
too.
photograph of the gun there. Yeah.
1945.
Now, there's an interesting picture there on the top with the skull and crossbones. They all flew that when they were coming in. This shows here, I think, that they knocked off a submarine.
This is,
4 submarines.
they used to put on the flag what exactly they'd accomplish whilst at sea.
Yeah. They represent 4 torpedo sinkings.
That's right.
And this here means gun engagements over from the surface. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dots there.
That's right. 7 ships sunk.
Yeah. And this is a cloak and dagger operation.
Yeah, this is an undercover operation they were on.
Yeah. And that was some kind of schooner they also sunk. So they performed fairly well.
This is a record of what they done at sea, in other words.
Yeah. Well, then he continued on in the Navy until 1947.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. And when did he get married after that then?
19 what?
She can't even...
I can't.
30th of July
1957.
1957. Yeah, yeah. Ballina, was it?
No,
Ardagh.
Ardagh.
I was the first one to be married in the new Ardagh church.
So you come from Ardagh yourself, do you?
Yeah.
Right. This is more information here about the submarine.
Yeah.
He laid down 23rd of
June
June.
1942, launched the 18th of May 1943, commissioned the 9th of July 1943, tonnage surface 830, submerged 930, length 217 feet, beam 23.6 feet, draft 14.3 feet, engines 2 Admiralty Passion 8-cylinder Brotherhoods, each generated 950 horsepower at full power, motors Metro Vickers.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good. You went living to Ballina right away, did you?
Yes.
Yeah. And you lived
Terrace.
in Corcoran?
29 Corcoran Terrace.
And he worked in
Scannons.
for years and years.
Yes.
For years and
Yeah.
years till they
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah. You have no idea when they closed, no?
When the scanner closed,
Whatever.
Around, roughly around, doesn't
Oh, I
matter.
wouldn't even guess on it.
I say,
Could be 15 years.
Yeah.
Right.
well, I doubt it's 15 actually, because what they call them come in there after that. What they call that for that?
They closed down in the 70s.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
was an excellent man with diesel engines, wasn't
Oh,
he?
yeah,
Oh,
tractors and
Yeah,
major tractors,
Ford,
Fords,
yeah.
the Ford tractors.
yeah. I suppose he got his experience from
He
the...
went to Fords in Cork a couple of times, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
courses.
He did,
There's
yeah.
a special
right.
course in
And
Cork.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Right. Tom O'Donnell while he was in the Navy. Early years, I suppose.
I'd say that was his official photograph. You know when they take when you go into the Navy.
Yeah. One of the first photographs around the 1930s. You remember going to school over there,
And we did do very well.
yourself and Tom.
That's right.
I suppose the same day you took off.
Well, I suppose so.
Yeah, yeah. You remember the old schoolmaster that was in there at the
I do
time?
very well. Great Benny was.
Pat Timblin, was it?
Last time.
You didn't go to the other fella, Corley, did you?
No.
No. And Mrs. Innes?
And Mrs. Ennis.
Yeah. Did you leave the same day or?
Well, I couldn't be too sure, but
Yeah.
I'd say we left roughly around the same
Yeah,
time.
you were twins, weren't
We
you?
were twins, yeah.
Yeah. Any incidents happen here or anything? No?
Well, the odd row, you know,
The yard
usual.
row, yeah, yeah. Was the yard small or bigger? Did you have
The yard was very small and it was very rough for kicking football and you couldn't very well manage. We used to go to Mulherron's Field.
Ah, yes.
Had a bit of a go there.
Any other games? Handball or anything?
Oh, handball, yes, was very, very prevalent at that time.
Was it then?
Oh, it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did Tom now play any football with the local footballers?
No, Tom was never inclined for that. So I wasn't never much inclined myself for football, but handball, I loved it.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Did you play any other place besides here now?
Down in Listlin, we used to go down to Listlin with my son, and down to Narrings as well.
Where used to play down there now?
Chinarts.
Yeah. Oh, oh yes.
Pitch and toss.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, indeed, the same thing took place everywhere.
Yeah.
Tell me, did you go to Magona or Kilfine or?
No, never went to Magona or Kilfine.
Yeah. How about swimming? Did he like the water when he was?
He didn't know how to swim until he joined the Navy, and he had to go through all that after
Beyond.
he joined. Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't learn how to swim here.
No.
No. Ah, yeah.
Although we used to go to the sea, down to mine, you know, that time.
Yeah. Yeah. It has changed a bit since then, hasn't it?
It has changed very much since that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the main door was down on the gable, wasn't
That's
it?
right.
Yeah.
And plenty of fresh air coming.
Coming through. Tom O'Donnell. Thomas. Is that what they called him in those days?
Yes.
His register number 634, and he came to school on January the 23rd, 1924. Age of pupil last birthday. Well, he is December the 19th down here. Roman Catholic, Cooneal. And his father, occupation and means of occupation or
Farm
means
steward.
of yeah, farm steward. That was it. Now we see a record of his progress here. Changed into the different classes. 1 year they must hold him back. In second class, maybe he was too young or whatever. Then he made it, and he was here in sixth class, and he left on the 23rd of
The 11th.
yeah, that's November 1935. Thomas O'Donnell. School records in Cooneal National School, kept by Pat Timlin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Tom lived here for a long time, didn't he?
That's right.
29 years.
29 years.
Yeah.
And he worked way down there at Scanlon's garage.
Yeah,
That's right.
you'd see him coming across on the footpath and he'd cross over there and he'd be walking over here.
Yeah, yeah. A great man with diesel engines, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
One of the best.
And also for relieving people here on the street.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
He did a lot of relief work in his time.
He did.
He
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I remember there used to be an awful lot of accidents and he'd be the first man on the scene when the accident did occur. You know, he'd be the first one there, like, to get them out of the car
Yeah.
and do whatever he could for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. Didn't never say that he put down his knowledgeable experience of diesel engines to being in the Navy or anything.
Well, I'd say in the Navy was where he acquired a lot of his experience.
Yeah.
And then later on the
Down in Cork.
industrial front in
Yeah, down in
Dunkirk.
Cork. Yeah. Birth certificate. What have I seen this? 13th of December 1919. He was born. Photograph of the old Cooneal school. That's the 8th of November 1923. 1939 45 star. And involved in the Battle of Britain. He got that for being in the Battle of Britain. The Atlantic Star. And that's for Aircrew Europe or France and Germany. This would be a service medal here. 39.45. What about this oak leaf medal he was awarded?
You read out about that, you can I have no letter.
There's nothing on it.
Well, it was a distinguished medal.
Just oak leaf. He had an oak leaf, yeah. War medal. It was for distinguished service, wasn't it?
That's right.
During the war. I think it is something to do with how he was mentioned in the
In
dispatches during the war.
Yeah. Because usually distinguished medals are for some acts of bravery or whatever.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
distinguished service.
Now this is the photograph of Storm, and on the back he's written all the places he was.
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to read
Yes,
them?
indeed. What dates on it there?
He has written on the back, Storm, July 43 to August 45, and he just has listed the places he was: Gibraltar, Malta, Palestine, Bournemouth, India, Ceylon, Perth, Australia, 18 months underwater service in the Indian Ocean and China Seas, 3 months in Philadelphia, USA, paid off Gosport, August 1946.
That's
You
really
see
nice.
where he is written on the back of the
Indeed, yeah.
submarine Storm.
Storm. What did you say it was again?
This is employment and ability record.
Yeah.
And it lists the ships and submarines he served on. As you can see Seagull is here listed.
What year?
December 38, December
Yeah.
39, December 40. And you'll see there where Storm, then he joined Storm in November, I think, 45.
Yeah.
And there's also, he was also on Tradewind and Maidstone,
Yeah.
2 other submarines.
What's the last date that's down there?
The last date is 1947, I think July 1947.
That'll be on the Maidstone.
That'll be on the Maidstone, the last voyage.
Right. This is the submarine Tradewind. He's the man in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Any year on this now?
No year.
This wasn't taken around home, no?
No, that was taken when he was in the Navy.
HMS Seal, a minesweeper. So he worked on the Atlantic with this one, didn't he?
Yes.
That was convoy work on the North Atlantic.
Yeah, yeah. Launching a lifeboat, I'd say, of HMS Seal.
Have you another book?
I have the actual book.
Last and set of people Stoker, petty officer. 1943. Storm. They must have had cameras aboard, the boys themselves. Oh, Michael, Jim was telling me down there that he had to get some kind of recommendation from Major Pratt of Crossmolina before he could.
That's right, he was an ex-English army major.
Yeah.
And generally, whatever these fellas said went.
Yeah, he lived it in a schoolhouse, I think, too.
That's right.
Crossmolina. Oh, yeah.
He did, yeah.
This was a photograph of your wedding day.
Yeah.
When? 1957, was it?
That's right.
30th of July 1957.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. He has a different appearance there. They tell me he was a man about 6 feet tall, is that right?
Well, a bit short of that, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah.
5'9", 10.
And that when he worked down in Scanlon's here, that when they folded up, that he didn't get any redundancy either.
Oh, he got redundant.
Well, he
Did
he got
Did he?
some
Did he?
redundancy.
Some,
yes,
yeah.
Yeah, he got some. And an authority in diesel engines, I'm told. And he eventually bought himself out of the Navy.
He
That's
did,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
He did. And
Well, he waited in the most dangerous time, didn't he, during the
Yes.
war
Oh,
years?
during
That's
the
right,
war.
yeah.
Yeah.
He waited in it, but there was a risk.
Yeah, he did indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a determined man all round.
Well, it looks that way.
Yeah. How well you should know him, like you were twins.
Well, he used to do a lot of my mechanical work to it.
Yeah, yeah. What was his father's name?
Lewis.
Lewis.
O'Donnell.
Yeah. And his mother's name?
Gina O'Donnell.
O'Donnell. What was her maiden name before she?
Kane.
Mikhail.
Kane.
Kane.
Yeah.
Where did she come from?
She came from Castle Hill, up around
Crossmolina.
Crossmolina.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Now you're Tom O'Donnell, the son of Tom, the man that was in the army.
That's correct.
Yeah. You were telling me there that he told you, a few yarns about his time in the Navy, life down in the U-boat.
That's correct, Sean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Terrible sound from the engines.
absolutely. You couldn't hold a conversation down there when they'd be running.
Yeah.
I suppose people use sign language more than anything else.
Yeah.
Also, when they'd be surfacing now to maybe recharge their batteries at night, they mainly done that at night because they weren't as visible.
Yeah.
And possibly if enemy were at the surface, they'd have to retreat and
Dive again.
and if the enemy had detected them, they'd be dropping depth charges, and those would be exploding all around them, and
That's right.
every moment it could be your last.
Yeah. Creating problems for them.
And excuse me, it was a hell of a time, sure enough.
Some of their nerves, I think, were a bit frayed too, weren't they?
Yes, he also told me on a couple of occasions that during times now, on one occasion, as you know, their engine stopped and they were submerged,
Yeah.
and they couldn't come to the surface, and they were several days under the water.
Is that so?
And during that time, people began to realise that maybe we're not going to get out of here,
That's right.
and I suppose their nerves gave in, and they had to be restrained and tied up in some cases and locked in small rooms.
Yeah.
And I suppose some of them did go mad, but
Didn't he escape, make a dramatic escape there by opening some bolt with his teeth? You didn't ever hear of it, did you?
yes, I've heard that on a couple of occasions.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and I suppose there was certain things they had to do that
Yeah.
they were getting hard to do all the time.
Yeah. Was this while they were on the bottom?
This is why they were sitting on the bottom.
Yeah. Well, he didn't tell you now where exactly. Were they at the North Pole or were they in the Mediterranean?
No,
or?
I cannot.
He
Locate
never
that,
mentioned.
no.
Yeah.
But
He had a hard time.
he lost a great deal of weight. When they eventually got up, he was 7 stone,
Yeah.
and I suppose he would have been something in the region of 14 stone at that stage
Yeah.
before he went down.
Yeah.
So you can well imagine the food. It wasn't agreeing with their stomach anymore.
Yeah.
They were vomiting strongly. Everybody was sick.
That's right.
And if they had been down there maybe another day, another 2 days, they would have never survived.
Surfaced or survived. That's
They
right.
would never have survived, yes.
Yeah. Well, this is League Cemetery now, where he's buried, isn't it?
That's correct, yeah.
And his brother's there too, Louis, that was also involved in the
Yes,
war.
he was. He wasn't in the submarines now. He was on the surface
Yeah,
in
he was
a
warship.
in a warship.
Yeah.
Yes, and he too had his bad bad times.
He had.
I understand on one occasion that a torpedo penetrated the side of the ship,
Yeah.
and many hundreds of them escaped with their lives,
Yeah.
and many
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that had an awful effect on his life.
Yeah. Well,
afterwards.
anyway, we'll have to deal with him later, but Tom died here last year, wasn't it?
That's correct. He died on the 15th of August, 1985.
And his grave is here now, isn't
His
it?
grave is here now. Yes.
Yeah.